You may now begin your presentation.
Improving lives, impacting people, making a difference in the world. What a splendid motive to live for. By taking the simplest actions, we trigger change with an expanded effect. It all starts with a small decision to begin. From that point, empowerment reach only gets bigger. One never knows how many lives will be impacted, but someday, somehow, everyone will hear the sound of empowerment.
The sound of empowerment, an objective we continuously strive to achieve in SAIFFE. We always believe that empowerment is not just about providing people with what they need, but it's about allowing them to develop further. Once people are empowered, they incredibly rise to create their own legacy, composing their sound of empowerment. When this violinist talent revealed by simply giving him a bow, he became empowered and created his amazing masterpiece.
SAIFFE Université Française d'Égypte, SAIFFE, is proud of the sounds of empowerment composed by its 121 students, who worked for more than 35,000 hours in 13 different projects, impacting the lives of 155,000 Egyptians. As you can see in our annual report, all the 5 projects we will be presenting today completely fulfill the SAIFFE criterion and impressively generate a sound of empowerment.
Aqua farming, filtered by nature.
Give a man a fish, and he'll eat for a day. But teach him how to fish in Al Manzala Lake, and he'll be losing his business the very next day.
Al Manzala Lake, the biggest natural lake in Egypt, produces 64,000 tons of fish annually. That's sufficient to feed more than 80,000 persons for a whole year. What a great resource it was. Unfortunately, since 2010, due to the increase of water pollution rates, 48% of its marine species disappeared, which led the Manzalians aqua farmers to slide towards poverty and to give up on their inherited business.
It was time to take action to bring back the value of Al Manzala. So we launched the aqua farming project with 2 main objectives: to adapt new aqua farming solutions and to revive the business. To adapt new aqua farming solutions, we conducted research to find a simple yet effective filter for empowerment. Amazingly, this filter is a fish, the silver carp fish.
The carp fish has exceptional advantages. It feeds entirely on marine microcreatures, reducing 70% of farming expenses allocated for feeding. Additionally, being endowed with an internal filter, carps control water quality. Finally, this fish is considered as a good source of protein for low-income consumers.
Our first action was to collaborate with a renowned expert in the aqua farming field to aware 50 aqua farmers about the advantages of carp fish. This year, 10 aqua farmers showed deep interest in this project. We empowered them through financial, managerial, and technical know-how sessions. Throughout several follow-up visits, they shared with us their calculations as reliable carp market information. Within the first year, the aqua farmers sold 110 tons of carp, worth $133,000.
The following stage was to revive the business. We customized a financial program based on the market data. SAIFI started by empowering Mr. Saeed, a Manzalian aqua farmer, with all the training needed to invest in 4 cages. This is how the financial system works. SAIFI provides a 1-year loan per participant. The loan covers the startup and operational cost of the project, as well as a 1-year monthly allowance equivalent to the Egyptian minimum wage.
By the end of the first year, each cage produces 2.5 tons of carp, worth $3,300. After loan reimbursements and taxes payment, the aqua farmer's 4 cages will generate a net profit of $4,600, allowing him to save $280 monthly and exceeding the Egyptian minimum wage by 40%. That's just for starters. For the second year, the aqua farmer will expand his business by investing in at least 1 new cage, increasing his income by 195%.
The sound of empowerment of the aqua farming project is exceptional. SAIFI will use the reimbursed loans to empower new Manzalians, creating a solid platform for successful foundation through a sustainable chain of investment.
Aqua farming, filtered by nature. We found a filtering solution for the Manzala community, effectively revived the business of 11 aqua farmers, generated revenues worth $133,000, and built a foundation for expansion based on a customized, profitable financial system.
Junior, building alliances.
Simple solutions that can lead to change are everywhere. But very often when a solution is simple, we fail to see it. Take the following case as an example. Deserts represent 90% of Egypt. The reclamation of these lands has always been a challenge, as agriculture wasn't lucrative for investment.
Did you know that the Hoba plant has unique specifications that perfectly suit a desert climate? It is cultivated on a 100% sandy soil and is irrigated with low dosages of salty water. The oil of this plant is internationally famous for its applications in cosmetics and petroleum industries. Unlikely in Egypt, the lack of awareness about its usages resulted in an immature Hoba market, and Hoba shop suppliers do not find enough market channels.
SAIFI saw in these 2 problems a grand development opportunity, utilizing the Hoba plant to reclaim desert lands. Only one word sums up our solution: partnership. To start, we had to unite Hoba business entities, suppliers, landowners, cultivators, and Hoba experts by initiating the National Association for Natural Oils, or NANO. NANO's objective is to advocate Hoba applications among Egyptian investors and to offer all needed services for land reclamation using this plant.
Nano structure is divided into 3 main departments. The marketing department promotes the various applications of Hoba in Egypt via website, publications, and meeting with landowners. The operational department is responsible for site inspecting, irrigation system designing, and Hoba shop supplying. And finally, the sales department secures contracts with landowners to export the resulting Hoba seeds with the international market price.
Nano resulted in an impressive impact for all its related entities. In its first year, it created market channels for its suppliers, selling 10,500 shrubs to 3 landowners, allowing the cultivation of 15 acres that used to be non-arable. Those acres will generate economic opportunities of $15,000 by next harvest season.
The sound of empowerment of the Junior project is widening. A reputable landscape company signs a protocol with Nano. The company advocates the Hoba business model to new landowners, getting in return Nano's expertise in Hoba cultivation. As a first arrangement between them, an exhibition was held, attracting 5 new leads. This sustainable partnership will greatly increase the area of cultivated lands from 15 to 500 acres by next year.
Junior, building alliances. We built an alliance of previously separated Hoba entities in Nano, created opportunities to cultivate 15 acres that used to be non-arable lands, promoted 10,500 shops in the Egyptian market, And finally, he signed a protocol to advocate the Huba business model to new landowners.
Riwarre. Solution from within.
El-Warraq, despite of its location in the heart of Cairo, is an isolated island inhabited by 75,000 people who previously had little to no chance of development. Our sound of empowerment has been echoing for the past 6 years in El-Warraq, and the proof lies in the numbers. Throughout the years, we dedicated 75,000 hours to implement 10 sustainable projects. Our impact has been continuously growing, starting with 80 and reaching more than 45,000 impacted people.
We secured 110 job opportunities, created a family model that effectively empowered 15,200 men, 26,300 women, and 3,650 youngsters, and providing basic services to 50% of the island inhabitants. This is just the beginning, and the best is yet to come. Today, we are proudly sharing with you one of our 10 projects, the Riwarraq project.
What's the relation between a problem and a challenge? For us, a problem is just an opportunity to challenge ourselves, to create radical changes, and to achieve exceptional results. Here's the problem. Due to the unprecedented economic circumstances in Egypt, our governmental partner of 2 years, GCBA, was no longer able to remove the 2.5 tons of daily garbage we stacked all over El-Warraq once again.
Aiming at finding a better solution with greater impact, SAIF UFO decided to re-innovate its Riwarraq project. We stopped relying on any outsourced services and successfully insourced the whole garbage collection system on the island. Our solution was divided into 3 main steps: to reallocate the resources, redesign the workflow, and resustain the project.
To reallocate the resources, we grouped independent parties in one private company, the Riwarraq Co. It included a chief, 6 workers recruited from the island, and a plastic bags provider. We supplied this company with a garbage collection car, 2 tricycles, and 1 huge storage container.
We then redesigned the workflow. Let me explain to you the daily routine of the garbage collection system. In the early morning, the workers head to the company's location to take the tricycles, ride them in El-Warraq narrow streets to collect the garbage from the inhabitants. Then, they transport the collected garbage and store it in the container. Using the garbage collection car, the container is emptied, and the garbage is transported outside the island to a specific dumping point.
To resustain the project, we relaunched 960 hours of awareness campaign about the new garbage collection system. What's really interesting? Post-campaign survey proved that 80% of the inhabitants agreed on the money collection system we established. $1.5 are paid monthly for unsorted garbage, and a 50% discount for those who sort in the green and black bags provided. The sorted plastics in the green bags are then sold to recyclers, generating a monthly income of $12,500. This system ensures the Riwarraq cost profitability and at the same time encourages the inhabitants to continuously sort their garbage.
When comparing between the old outsourced model and the new in-source solution, the numbers are impressive. This new business model not only doubled the number of job opportunities, but also increased the monthly income of all workers by 50%. Besides, our territory of service was expanded by 60%. This means that we're now covering 34% of El-Warraq Island, serving 17,500 inhabitants. This allowed the removal of 28 tons of garbage monthly, leading to improved hygienic conditions.
The sound of empowerment of the Riwarraq project is going beyond El-Warraq. It encouraged an influential politician to approach us to transfer our experience to his community development team. Today, we are proud to say that our own strategies are being replicated in 7 zones of Cairo. This proves that what was once a problem has become an effective solution for more than 400,000 inhabitants.
Riwarraq, solution from within. We initiated a new self-sufficient company that serves 34% of El-Warraq inhabitants, designed a solution that removes 28 tons of garbage each month, and expanded our reach to 7 new areas in Cairo.
Vow. Plug the wind in.
Let me tell you a quick fact. According to the International Energy Agency, out of each 4 persons living on Earth, There is one deprived of electricity. This person mostly lives in Africa.
Here's the case in Egypt. The Ministry of Environmental Affairs reported that Sinai Bedouins place electricity as their highest priority need. The fact is, the difficulty of power conduction between Sinai Mountains deprives this socially enclosed community from having a sustainable source of electricity, consequently impeding their development.
Have you imagined that a solution is found just over our heads? As 20% of the wind energy on Earth can satisfy the world's electricity needs 6 times over. If only it could be harnessed.
SciFFO decided to dream big and follow the wind. Having an opportunity-based business approach in mind, we capitalized on Sinai's exceptional wind speed and introduced for the first time in Egypt vertical axis wind turbines, or VOWT.
During the past 2 years, SciFFO engineering students designed a complete VOWT system, which took 9,750 hours of research, 7 trial and error tests, and many site inspections. Afterwards, we worked extremely hard for 6 months to manufacture and assemble our first VOWT. As you can see, our VOWT is amazingly spinning, with 85% manufacturing costs lower than international markets.
There was another issue. Bedouins do not trust outsiders easily. So, to build a bond of trust, we approached a well-known Bedouin figure, Mr. Amr Sabri. During several interactive sessions, we conducted a feasibility study on VOWT's investment process. Amazingly, his interest went beyond investing in the first VOWT in Egypt. He markets the VOWT within his community in exchange of a 5% commission for each sold unit of VOWT.
Since then, Mr. Sabri's quality of life has remarkably changed. Our new environmentally friendly source of electricity reduced Mr. Sabri's annual spending on energy by 37.5% and stopped his reliance on diesel. Indeed, our VOWT produces 4 kilowatts of electricity that covers 4 Bedouin houses with older home appliances.
The sounds of empowerment of the VOWT project is extremely promising. Thanks to our community-based marketing approach, VOWT incredibly became the talk of the town, resulting in a high demand for new VOWTs.
SciFFO received orders to implement its high-tech dream in 2 touristing camps, a restaurant and a school. Our VOWT will create new touristic activities for them and will also allow the establishment of computer labs for the school, leading to a better educational experience for future Bedouin generations.
It gets even better. We signed a contract with a leading aeronautical engineering company, stating that it will be in charge of teaching Bedouins the VOWT maintenance techniques and providing them with spare parts. This sustainable agreement ensures that our VOWT will continuously illuminate more places in the upcoming years.
VOWT, plug the wind in. We plugged in the first VOWT in Egypt and with 85% reduction in cost compared to international markets, and will illuminate this year alone for local establishments.
Nabi Daniel, revived by a click.
You wake up in the morning, you hit the road to work, and as soon as you reach your office, unexpectedly, you don't find it there. How would you react?
This is the risk that 40 kiosk owners in Nabi Daniel Street in Alexandria face every single day. Although their second-hand book business is 50 years old, vendors have no legal status or any ownership documents of their kiosks. Thus, they face a daily threat of being removed by the government. This unstable work environment made them reluctant to any marketing activities and led to a continuous shrink in their annual sales volume until it attained a 30% decrease in 2010.
With the objective of reinforcing this valuable business, SciFFO started its empowerment journey by adopting the 4 Ps marketing mix. To start, product decisions had to be made. The vendors have always thought that having an appealing display is not important for selling used books. Pricing decisions had to be considered, as the vendors didn't have any previous pricing strategies.
We tackled these 2 Ps by conducting sessions on basis of marketing, during which we taught them several techniques to facilitate purchase decisions for their customers, such as book categorization. In addition, we held interactive workshops to set new pricing strategies.
Then came the challenging place decision. We secured monthly events at the renowned Alexandria University, a touristic institute, and a sports club, reaching more than 26,000 persons.
Finally, for the promotion decisions, vendors had no means to communicate information about their business activities. So we linked them with local magazines to continuously save pages for articles, updates, and events of Nabi Daniel, reaching more than 20,000 Alexandrians each month.
The 4 Ps marketing mix resulted in outstanding impact. In only 1 year, sales boosted by 152%, exceeding the highest sales volume reached in the last 15 years.
SciFFO was eager to take the success one step further, creating a new entrepreneurial e-Nabi Daniel business. Thanks to the newly launched website, customers can now search for a book and with a single click can order it. To self-sustain this new e-business, we trained the vendors on all the computer skills necessary to update the database of the books.
There was one more step to complete our empowerment journey. We signed a contract with Aramex to provide e-Nabi Daniel with book delivery services, extending its coverage to all Egypt's 27 governorates. This groundbreaking e-business is expected to increase the vendor sale by an additional 47% by the end of this year.
تعاون مع الجامعة الفرنسية جامعة صايغ الأستاذة إسراء ماهر والأستاذ عمرو البطوط والجماعة الخاصة بعمل مشروع بروج لهذا المكان في تطوير شارع النبي دانيال وبيعة الكتب، وتم إنشاء جمعية مشهورة اسمها جمعية النبي دانيال للحفاظ على الكتاب والتراث. هدفها هي الحفاظ على الباعة الجائلين الخاصين ببيع الكتب فقط لا غير، وتقديم خدمة ثقافية عن طريق الإنترنت، وتم التواصل مع إدارة البريد في توصيل الكتاب على مستوى العالم بأسعار زهيدة جدا لأي مثقف أو أي هاوي أو أي باحث.
The sound of empowerment of the Nabi Daniel project is just phenomenal. All the 40 vendors took the initiative to gain a legal representation under one entity and, in collaboration with SciFFO, created the Nabi Daniel Association.
For the first time, they obtained a legal identity and proof of their business ownership that allowed them to have medical and social insurance, and most importantly, a secure work environment. For instance, united, they were able to successfully defend their case against the new decision of removing their kiosks issued on the 7th of September 2012. Today, Nabi Daniel vendors are empowered and regained their motivation, not just to sustain their business, but to expand it from here on.
Nabi Daniel, revived by Click. We applied the 4Ps marketing mix, revived the vendor sales by 152%, created an e-Nabi Daniel business, and secured a stable work environment via the vendors' legal association.
This year, SciFFO focused on empowering people, implemented life-changing projects, and let people discover their own potentials. By addressing the social, economic, and environmental needs of our communities, our wave of empowerment expands to create positive changes all across Egypt.
In the Aqua Farming project, we generated revenues of $133,000. Thanks to the customized financial program, our sound of empowerment is reaching the whole Manzala community.
In the Junian project, we created Nano that introduced 10,500 shops in the Hobo market. Our sound of empowerment is greatly expanding to reclaim 500 new acres in 3 new locations.
In the Riwarre project, we improved hygienic conditions of 17,500 inhabitants. Our sound of empowerment is upsizing to 7 new zones in Cairo.
In the Vout project, we plugged in the first Vout in Egypt with 85% price reduction. Our sound of empowerment is expanding to illuminate the Sinai Bedouin community.
In the Nabi Daniel project, we boosted the vendor sales by 152%, created a legal association and a new Nabi Daniel business. Our sound of empowerment is widening to all Egypt's governorates.
With a simple decision to begin, SciFFO's dream to be Egypt's change agents became real. By dedicating ourselves through 35,000 hours, we acted to implement customized plans in 13 different projects. Daring to defy ourselves, 121 members delivered life-changing solutions. This year, SciFFO achieved an exceptional success, generating a sound of empowerment that impacted 155,000 Egyptians.
With full commitment to our vision, we create amazing change.
Thank you to the team from Egypt. Judges, you may now begin the question and answer period.
Impact that inspires us to do great things, to make a difference in the world and the lives of so many people. That makes us in SciFFO challenge ourselves to just do our best. We cannot think of a better motive to keep going.
Thank you very much. Compliments. I have one question. When you look at your windmills, I think that is an innovative thing, but how did you finance that exactly?
I'm sorry, sir, I can't see you.
Sorry, I'm sitting here.
Yeah, okay.
My question was, how did you finance exactly the windmills and your innovation? Because you have spent, I think, 9,000 hours of innovative research and all that type of stuff.
Sorry, may you repeat your question? I cannot hear you.
Can't you hear me? Okay.
No, there's an echo.
Oh, I apologize for that.
Okay.
Is this better?
Okay.
My question was, you have invested heavily in the windmills in your project.
Okay.
How did you finance those investments and the research?
Okay. Okay. Thank you for your question, sir. First of all, for all our projects, we start by conducting research and feasibility studies to start them, and we start by brainstorming sessions on their ideas. For their investment, our team is divided into several departments. We have the fundraising department that is responsible for funding the projects throughout the years. They organize the events and that would bring us the money. And of course, we rely in part on the sponsors and donations, but mainly it's the role of the fundraising department. Thank you, sir.
Could you speak a little bit more about Nano? Was this institution just created for this single product, or is it used by other institutions and users, suppliers, or whatever?
Thank you for your question, sir. For Nano, the entities of the jojoba market were greatly separated and they were unable to communicate with each other. We saw that as a great problem as the market was unable to develop. So we did our research and we united those entities under Nano. So the association is divided into three main departments. The marketing department is responsible for the publications and for awareing people about the jojoba plant. We have the sales department that is responsible for selling shrubs, and we have the operational department that is responsible for site inspecting and the irrigation system designing. As for our role in the association, we united those entities and we gave them trainings on how to do the managerial, the financial, the technical skills for running the association, and 3 of our members are involved with them. And as for delinking plan, for each of our projects we have a delinking plan where we limit our role in the association, and they provide us with the reports and regular updates about how the association is working. Thank you.
How did you allocate your resources across your multiple projects?
Thank you, sir, for your question. Actually, this is the task of the fund department. It works on getting the resources, the financial resources we need for the projects, and then it allocates the resources upon the feasibility study we conduct for each project. And we also have the treasury department. It works along with the fund department, and this is how we manage the financial resources.
I wonder if you could talk a little bit more about what you left behind in each of these projects in terms of the organizational structures of the people involved. I see how you helped the fishermen, but there was a lot of we in your presentation, and I thought maybe there should be a little bit more they and what you did for them in terms of their learning, their organizations, the way they exist after you all move on to your next projects.
Thank you for your question, sir. In all of our projects, we always try to make sure that all the people we empower are very well aware of the skills they need to run the project. We always have delinking plans for each of our projects
Your time has expired. Judges, please join me in thanking the team from Egypt, French University in Egypt.